Marcus adjusted his tie nervously, watching his boss Amanda stumble out of the party, clearly too drunk to even walk straight. She laughed loudly, spilling wine on her expensive dress as the crowd pretended not to notice, whispering about her behind her back. The valet awkwardly handed Marcus the keys, saying Amanda had demanded he drive her home since she couldn't even find her purse. He opened the car door, helping her inside gently, feeling her weight slump against the seat as she mumbled incoherently about the party. Marcus started the car, glancing at her through the rearview mirror, wondering how such a powerful woman could seem so fragile tonight. She groaned softly, asking him to play some music, but soon fell asleep, her head resting against the window with quiet, uneven breaths. Driving through the quiet streets, Marcus thought about his son Jaden waiting at home, and hoped this wouldn't take too much longer tonight. Amanda stirred once, reaching for her phone but then dropping it back into her lap, muttering something about being lonely and everyone pretending to care. Marcus felt a pang of sympathy, realizing even wealthy, commanding people like her could carry pain no one else cared to notice. The car's headlights cut through the fog as he approached her grand mansion, the gates opening automatically with a low mechanical hum that felt intimidating. He carried her carefully from the car to her doorstep, her arm draped loosely around his shoulder, heels clicking softly on the stone path. Her perfume lingered in the cold air, sweet yet somehow sad, like someone trying too hard to cover up something deeper inside. At the door, he fumbled for her keys, finally unlocking it and stepping into the massive, eerily quiet, marble-floored foyer that felt more museum than home. Marcus laid her gently on the couch, covering her with a nearby blanket, then stood silently for a moment, unsure whether to wake her. She murmured his name faintly, eyes half open, asking him not to leave just yet, her hand lightly clutching his wrist in a pleading gesture. He nodded silently, sitting on the far edge of the couch, watching as she drifted back to sleep, looking more peaceful than before. Glancing around the room, he noticed framed photographs of her younger self, smiling genuinely in ways he'd never seen her smile at work. Minutes passed like hours as he waited, the grandfather clock ticking loudly, reminding him of the warm little apartment and Jaden waiting for him. Finally, he stood up, adjusting the blanket around her one last time before quietly letting himself out, closing the door with a soft click behind him. As he drove home through the sleeping city, Marcus couldn't shake the image of her fragile smile and the sadness hiding behind her powerful facade. The next morning at work, Marcus tied his apron tightly, half expecting Amanda to ignore him or pretend nothing had even happened last night. But when she arrived, she paused at the entrance, her eyes finding his immediately, a strange look of quiet gratitude flashing across her face. For the first time in years, she greeted him softly, almost shyly, as if trying to remember how to speak kindly to another person. Throughout the day, Marcus noticed her stealing glances at him during meetings, her usual icy demeanor thawing into something warmer that confused everyone around her. When lunch came, she called him into her office unexpectedly, asking him to sit while she fiddled nervously with the pen on her desk. "I don't remember everything," she began slowly, avoiding his eyes, "but I know you stayed. You didn't take advantage of the situation." Marcus simply nodded, replying calmly, "You needed help. That's all. Everyone deserves to feel safe, no matter who they are or how powerful." Her lip quivered slightly, and for a moment he thought she might cry. But she composed herself, whispering, "People usually want something from me, but you just helped." The silence stretched between them, heavy but not uncomfortable. And finally she reached into her drawer, pulling out a crisp white envelope sealed with her initials. She slid it across the desk to him, murmuring, "For your son, and for reminding me what it means to trust someone again." Marcus opened it slowly, his breath catching when he saw the check inside as some larger than he could ever have imagined in his entire life. He tried to refuse, shaking his head quickly, but she held up a hand and said firmly, "It's not charity, it's gratitude. Please accept it." Her words hung in the air, sincere and heavy with emotion, leaving Marcus unsure of what to say except a quiet, heartfelt, "Thank you, ma'am. I'll use it wisely." Amanda smiled faintly for the first time, her usual guardedness gone, replaced with something more human, as she added, "You deserve more than anyone here ever gives you." As Marcus left her office, envelope tucked carefully in his pocket, he felt an unfamiliar weight lift off his shoulders, replaced with cautious hope and quiet pride. That evening, when he got home, Jaden ran into his arms, chattering excitedly about school while Marcus simply hugged him, realizing everything he did was for this little boy. Sitting at the kitchen table, he told Jaden about the check, explaining gently that they could finally move into a better place, closer to his school. Jaden's eyes widened, shining with wonder and excitement, and he whispered, "You really are a superhero, Dad," which made Marcus laugh softly, feeling tears prick at the corners of his eyes. They spent the evening talking about what their new life might look like, dreaming out loud about all the things they could finally do together without worry or struggle. And as Jaden fell asleep on the couch, Marcus tucked him in, whispering a silent promise to always stay humble, kind, and worthy of his son's unwavering admiration. The next week at work felt different, as if everyone sensed something had changed between Marcus and Amanda, though no one dared to ask. Amanda started greeting him every morning with a smile, small but real, and even began asking his opinions during team meetings, surprising everyone. She'd occasionally stop by his station to chat briefly, her voice softer than before, almost as if she enjoyed just talking to him casually. One day she asked him what Jaden liked to do, and when he mentioned chess, her face lit up with unexpected enthusiasm and curiosity. "That's a brilliant game," she said quietly, adding, "teaches patience, strategy, resilience. Skills I should probably work on myself," before walking away thoughtfully. Later that week, she handed Marcus a small wrapped box, insisting he open it right there, while she watched silently, her expression unreadable but warm. Inside was a beautifully crafted chess set, the pieces carved from ebony and ivory, and a note. "For you and Jaden, keep teaching him to dream." Marcus blinked back tears, speechless for a moment, before finally managing to say, "Thank you, ma'am." "This means more than words could ever express," Amanda just nodded, her eyes glistening slightly before turning to leave, muttering something about having another meeting and needing to prepare. At home, Jaden's face lit up with joy when he saw the chess set, his small fingers tracing the delicate pieces with awe and excitement. That evening, father and son sat cross-legged on the floor, playing their first game on the new board, laughing and teasing each other lovingly. As Jaden concentrated on his next move, Marcus realized this was what happiness truly looked like: quiet moments, love, and dreams finally within reach. Over the next few months, Amanda continued to support Marcus quietly, offering better shifts, unexpected bonuses, and even encouraging him to pursue management training at the company. Marcus, though grateful, stayed humble, always working hard, and making sure to treat everyone, whether boss or janitor, with the same kindness he'd shown her that night. Employees began noticing the change in Amanda too. She seemed calmer, kinder, more approachable, almost as if she'd rediscovered her humanity through her bond with Marcus. One day she called him into her office again, her tone serious but warm, saying simply, "There's something more I want to offer you, Marcus." He sat down nervously as she handed him a sleek black folder containing an official offer to become her assistant manager, effective immediately.
Oh.
Marcus's hand shook slightly as he read through the generous terms. Feeling overwhelmed by how far he'd come from that lonely night driving her home, Amanda smiled gently, saying, "You've earned this. Not because you helped me, but because you're everything this company and people need more of." With a quiet, grateful smile, Marcus replied, "I'll keep proving you right, ma'am. Every single day, for everyone counting on me." Marcus walked out of her office that day feeling lighter, his chest full of pride and determination to honor her trust completely. At home, Jaden jumped into his arms again, and Marcus whispered, "We're going to be okay, son. Everything is finally falling into place." That weekend, they visited a nicer apartment closer to Jaden's school, with enough room for his books, toys, and even a small study corner. Jaden ran through the empty rooms laughing, and Marcus stood quietly, grateful that one night of kindness had created such a ripple effect. The following Monday, Amanda invited Marcus and Jaden to dinner at her mansion, saying she wanted to know more about her favorite family. Jaden wore his best shirt, and Marcus taught him how to shake hands properly, though inside he still felt nervous about the evening. When they arrived, Amanda herself opened the door, dressed simply, smiling warmly at Jaden as she knelt to greet him like an equal. Over dinner, Jaden charmed everyone with his stories and even beat Amanda in a quick game of chess, earning a rare laugh from her. Later, as Jaden explored the house with her housekeeper, Amanda leaned toward Marcus and quietly said. Marcus looked at her, surprised, and she continued, "You reminded me to care, to see people." They sat there in silence for a moment, the weight of her words settling between them like something sacred and unspoken. In the weeks that followed, Amanda and Marcus became close friends, partners in running the company, and role models for everyone who worked there. She trusted his judgment completely, often deferring to his decisions and even asking his advice about things outside work, like family and life choices. At work, employees began calling them the Dream Team, noting how their kindness and leadership changed the entire atmosphere in the restaurant. One rainy evening, Marcus stayed late to finish paperwork when Amanda appeared, carrying 2 cups of coffee and wearing an uncharacteristically soft smile. "You're not just my employee anymore," she said gently, placing the coffee in front of him. "You're part of my family now." Marcus felt a lump in his throat, and all he could do was nod quietly, swallowing the gratitude swelling in his chest. That night, as he walked home under the rain, he realized how far he'd come from a struggling single father to someone respected and loved. He thought about how kindness didn't just save others, it saved the person offering it to, teaching lessons that no amount of money could buy. At home, Jaden was waiting up, smiling sleepily, whispering, "You're my hero, Dad," before curling up into bed with a peaceful, contented sigh. The next morning, Marcus woke up before dawn, quietly reflecting on everything he'd learned and how far he and Jaden had come together. He prepared breakfast for Jaden, humming softly as he flipped pancakes, thinking how simple moments carried more meaning than all the riches in the world. At work that day, Amanda surprised him by announcing a new mentorship program in his name, aimed at helping single parents find better opportunities. The room erupted in applause, and Marcus stood there humbled, realizing his story was inspiring others to believe in second chances and kindness. Later, Amanda pulled him aside and said softly, "You've shown me wealth isn't about money, it's about the lives you touch every day." Marcus smiled warmly, replying, "And you showed me even the coldest hearts can change if someone believes in them just enough to care." That evening, he and Jaden walked through their neighborhood park, holding hands, watching the sunset paint the sky with fiery streaks of orange. Jaden looked up and asked innocently, "Dad, do you think everyone has a chance to be good if someone helps them?" Marcus nodded, his heart full, answering, "Yes, son, everyone has that chance." Weeks turned into months, and Marcus continued to lead with humility, always remembering where he came from and never letting success change his character. Amanda also continued growing, becoming not only a better boss, but also a better human being, crediting Marcus for reminding her what mattered most. They worked together to expand the mentorship program, helping dozens of struggling parents and earning national recognition for their efforts and genuine compassion. One evening, Jaden proudly showed Marcus a school essay titled, "My Dad is My Hero," making his father's eyes mist with quiet emotion. Amanda read the essay too and smiled knowingly, whispering to Marcus later, "You're more than just a hero to him, you're a hero to me too." Marcus chuckled softly, his eyes glistening, whispering back, "We all save each other in little ways, don't we?" Years later, as Jaden graduated college, Marcus and Amanda sat in the front row together, clapping proudly as their shared journey came full circle. After the ceremony, Marcus hugged Jaden tightly, whispering, "Never forget where you came from, son, and always help others the way we were helped." Amanda wiped a tear, smiling at them both, knowing their bond had changed her life forever, proving that kindness leaves a legacy beyond imagination. And as they posed for a photo together, Marcus thought, one drunken night, one simple choice to help. He closed his eyes briefly, whispering a quiet prayer of gratitude for Jaden, for Amanda, and for the power of compassion to change everything forever.